I told you that your trash probably travels more than you do? Because the moment you put that plastic container in the bin to be recycled, well, that's really just the beginning of a journey that until recently often ended in China, where it was cleaned, crushed and transformed into raw materials. At its peak, China was welcoming more than half of the world's plastic garbage and most of its paper waste too. But in 2017, Beijing decided, actually, we don't want to be the world's trash can anymore. And just like that, it banned most plastic and paper imports. With the loss of their overseas dumping ground, rich countries were stuck.
It's clear that the production of waste hasn't stopped, so it keeps on flowing into recycling facilities. The waste is sorted, but it doesn't always get recycled, so inevitably more trash is incinerated or landfilled. Today, in Europe and in France, recycling facilities are overloaded.
Why don't they just recycle it? Well, it's too expensive locally and there's not enough capacity anyway. So one of the solutions, as we just heard, burn it. Not only in Europe, but also in the US. Think about how absurd this is. Conscientious citizens of Philadelphia, for example, putting their pizza boxes and yogurt containers into their recycling bin, only for half of it to be dumped with the ordinary trash and incinerated. And it's not as if burning plastic means, poof, it's gone. The process emits toxic fumes.
The dangerous stuff is you cannot see. That gets into your lungs, particulate matter, arsenic, cadmium, okay? Mercury, lead, those are the things that come out of that stack.
The other solution is, of course, to find another junkyard. And that's in fact what the trash traders did. Step up Malaysia, Vietnam and other Southeast Asian countries, nations with fewer regulations and less stringent controls. Malaysia has in fact seen the biggest increase. Used plastic imports tripling since 2016 to 870,000 tonnes. Dozens of recycling factories have cropped up in the country, many of them illegal. Small villages like this one outside Kuala Lumpur, now vast toxic wastelands as they become the new centres of the global garbage crisis.
We found the factory, they just dump the non-recyclable plastic or the reject product, and then they burn in the backyard of this factory. So those toxic fumes actually already cause a lot of health problem to our residents.
The pushback in Southeast Asia is well underway. In the Philippines, a long-running spat with Canada ended with Manila sending back 69 containers of rotting trash wrongly sent to their ports. The Philippines Secretary of Foreign Affairs bidding farewell to the garbage with this tweet. Bye-bye, as we say it. Malaysia is also playing hardball. In May, it invited dozens of journalists to watch as it opened containers carrying low-quality, non-recyclable plastic sent from places such as the US, Australia, Japan and France. It came with a clear warning.
Whoever that sent their waste to Malaysia, whether it's e-waste, whether it's plastic waste or whatever waste, we will send it back. And we will fight back. Even though we are a small country, we cannot be bullied by developed countries.
Out of sight, out of mind, when will developed countries stop thinking their waste is a problem for export?
It's not exporting a problem, it's finding a customer that was an easy customer, let's put it this way. Cost of labor was not so high. Regulations were probably not too picky. And so it was an easy customer with big needs. So of course it was easy to sell. It's not the case anymore. China has been very strict, is restructuring its own market in order to be self-sufficient. On the short term, it's painful, for sure. On the long term, it's probably a very good situation because it will force all the industry to do better. They have to invest in technology, in R&D to find new ways of better sorting the plastic. Europe and the US are investing in test facilities for chemical recycling, which is new because today it's mainly mechanical. And at the same time, there must be a very strong dialogue with the production, with the manufacturers. We know that today, lots of plastics are not easily recyclable or not recyclable at all, and they have to make sure that what they produce is recyclable.
Earlier this year, 187 countries agreed on a deal to control the movement of plastic waste between borders in an effort to curb the world's plastic crisis. However, the United States, the world's top exporter of plastic waste, has not ratified the pact. In American ports, containers full of waste are waiting for their next destination.